Well, the headline is that the top grades have fallen, but they are above the pre-pandemic levels. So that is good news for students. They had been talked about as the unluckiest year, hadn't they? They'd been through their GCSEs, their exams cancelled. They've had disruption right up until now with COVID, with teachers and students having to isolate. They've had the teaching strikes to contend with. But what we are seeing is that top grades are returning to those 2019 levels. And you may well think from the figures that actually if you're a student in England, you are unlucky than those in other nations as well, because England has actually brought down their grades faster and more sharply than the other nations. In England, the share of exams graded A or above is 2% higher than in 2019. In Wales, it is 7% higher. In Northern Ireland, it is 9% higher than in 2019. So we saw, didn't we, during COVID, those teacher-assessed exams, the A-level results were shooting up for A's and A stars. Well, they're now back at more 2019 levels, but particularly for those in England. Now, I was just listening into a briefing, and Ofqual, the exams regulator, were explaining that in England it was their decision to do that, not ministers' decisions to return to more 2019 levels. And they were explaining that actually universities and employers are used to those discrepancies between the nations, and she didn't see it as an issue. We'll have to find out how students feel about that shortly. Some of the other headlines is that more students are taking A-levels this year, that maths is the most popular subject. The biggest increase in entries for A-levels is in computing, and economics is in the top 10 subjects for the first time. We're also seeing a return to male students achieving more A stars, but that females are ahead when A's and A stars are combined. But there's still a regional discrepancy as well. Students in London and the South East are getting the greatest numbers of A's and A stars. But in the North East, we saw that actually those levels had gone below 2019 levels. So that may well be arguably something that has been overcorrected up there.